the highlights. Lagos State government set to unveil a core laws. Federal government restates commitments to combating terrorism, insurgency. On the foreign scene, Israel launches new military campaign in central Gaza, and in sports, Napoli appoints Antonio Conte as new manager. And now the details. I am Akan Usen. All is set for the unveiling of a new app, a core laws, to enable residents of Lagos State have easy access to the laws of the state. The new app is conceptualized by the 2024 cohorts of the Lateef Jakonde Leadership Academy in collaboration with the Lagos State Law Reforms Commission to promote law and justice in the state. Speaking at a pre-event press conference, the team lead of ACE, a group of 15 cohorts from the academy, Usman Adeniji, said many residents had no knowledge of the law, and this impacted their rights and the need to demand good governance. Adeniji stated that the Core Laws Simplifier app is accessible with simplified versions of the law of the state on www.acorelaws.com.
As you always say, a number of us have spent almost of our lives in this state. So we're doing ourselves a disservice if we don't able recognize some of the laws, that guides us. And going by the Mr. Governor's Team Sports agenda, one of the key themes there, which is the plus, it talks about social inclusion, and one of the things for you to be socially inclusive is for you to recognize the laws that guides you within the residence in which you reside.
Earlier, the State Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Benga Omotosho, represented by the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on New Media, Jibril Gawat, noted that one of the key components of the fellowship program introduced in February 2023 to empower graduates is to come up with a project that will impact people of the state positively.
As you always say, a number of us have spent almost of our lives in this state. So we're doing ourselves a disservice if we don't able recognize some of the laws, that
the app will be translated into the Yoruba language for more access to the grassroots. The Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, LASEMA, has advised Lagosians to switch off all electrical appliances at the close of business every day, just as it says it has successfully curtailed a fire incident which occurred in the early hours of today at the Alaya Biagba Market, Mobile Road boundary at Jegunle. Permanent Secretary LASEMA Olufemi Okeosoitolu said the agency received a distress call about a fire outbreak at about 2:26 a.m. and immediately activated its emergency response plan. According to him, on arrival of the agency's team at the incident scene, it was observed that 10 shops in the market were engulfed by fire. Okeosoitolu said further information gathered at the incident scene revealed that the fire started in one of the shops immediately after public power was restored, and the fire subsequently spread to other shops because most of the goods stored were curtains and clothing materials, while noting that LASEMA, Lagos State Fire Service, Lasambos, and the Nigeria Police were responders at the incident scene. Okeosoitolu stated that the agency's operatives ensured that the ravaging fire was extinguished to prevent it from spreading to other shops and adjoining buildings. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control and NCDC and its partners have called on Nigerians to practice hand washing, personal hygiene, and other preventive measures adopted during COVID-19 to prevent antimicrobial resistance. They spoke in Abuja during an annual review meeting of the Commonwealth Partnership for Antimicrobial Stewardship 2, CWPAMS, with the theme Celebrating Progress and Learnings. NCDC and partners had launched the program in Nigeria with a grant to fund health partnership projects that leverage the expertise of UK health institutions and technical experts to strengthen the capacity of the national health workforce and institutions in Nigeria and 7 other Commonwealth countries to address challenges in antimicrobial resistance. 5 tertiary hospitals, Babcock University Teaching Hospital, University Teaching Hospital Enugu, University of Calabar Teaching Hospital, University College Hospital Ibadan, and Lagos University Teaching Hospital were selected in the Phase 2 grant to be implemented from 2023 until March 2025. The hospitals were among the over 52 hospitals selected as centers for the implementation of the AMR stewardship programs in Nigeria. And now to the rest of the stories. The Minister of Defense, Mohammed Abubakar, has assured officers and men of the armed forces of President Bola Tinubu's administration's commitment to equipping and training them to enhance combat readiness against insurgency and terrorism. The minister stated this when he visited the Military Operations Theatre in Katsina. While addressing Operation Hadar in Daji at the 213 Forward Operating Base Katsina, the minister acknowledged President Tinubu's significant successes in the fight against insurgency and related crimes. He urged the troops to continue the fight against insurgency and banditry, commending their sacrifices and commitment. Earlier, the minister held an interactive discussion with officers and men of the headquarters of the 17th Brigade of the Nigerian Army and Sector 2 Joint Task Force Operation Hadar in Daji, Katsina, to assess their preparedness in responding to insecurity threats in the region. Abubakar also visited the Nigerian Army Medical Center, Katsina, where he sympathized with military personnel injured during combat operations. The Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation (NDIC) says the payment of depositors in Heritage Bank will commence in 1 week. The managing director of NDIC, Bello Hassan, stated this during a briefing on the liquidation of the bank in Abuja. Hassan said the total bank deposits at Heritage Bank stood at 650 billion naira, while its loan portfolio stands at over 700 billion naira. He stated that the NDIC looks forward to ensuring the loan repayment within the next 6 months. And now to foreign news. The Israeli military says it has commenced a ground operation against Hamas in the Burej refugee camp and east of the town of Deir al-Bala in the central Gaza district. Israel Defense Forces IDF in a statement says troops backed by airstrikes were targeting terrorists and terrorist infrastructure above and below ground. The charity Médecins Sans Frontières said at least 70 people have died and 300 wounded. The majority of them women and children had been brought to a hospital in Deir al-Bala since Tuesday. It comes as U.S., Egyptian and Qatari mediators meet in Doha and Cairo to discuss how to finalize a new ceasefire and hostage release deal. And now sports. Former Chelsea and Tottenham Hotspur manager Antonio Conte has been appointed as the new boss of Napoli on a 3-year deal. The 54-year-old has not managed any club since he left Spurs by mutual consent in March 2023 after 16 months in charge. Despite a disappointing time in North London, Conte has had a decorated coaching career after winning the Premier League in his first season at Chelsea, 2016 to 2017, and the FA Cup in his second before being sacked in 2018. The Italian also guided a dominant Juventus to 3 Serie A titles in a row between 2011 and 2014. Napoli, who won Serie A for the first time in 33 years last year, have struggled to replicate that achievement and finished 10th in the league. And that's all for the news. At 4, just before we go, always slow down at road junctions, intersections, and pedestrian crossings. You can follow us and like all our various social media platforms on X, Traffic Radio 961, Instagram, Lagos Traffic Radio 961, Facebook, Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. On YouTube, subscribe and watch us live on our channel, Traffic Radio 961. You can also visit our website on www.trafficradio961.mg. Did you know that the Sanwo-Olu administration upgraded 2 higher institutions to universities? You can get more details on the Lagos State Government website. To end the news, here are the highlights of the major stories. All is set for the unveiling of a new app, Eco Laws, to enable residents of Lagos State have easy access to the laws of the state. Minister of Defense Mohammed Abubakar has assured officers and men of the armed forces of President Bola Tinubu's administration's commitment to equipping and training them to enhance combat readiness against insurgency and terrorism. We also told you that the Israeli military has commenced a ground operation against Hamas in the Bureji refugee camp and east of the town of Deir al-Bala in the central Gaza Strip. And in sport, former Chelsea and Tottenham Hotspur manager Antonio Conte has been appointed the new boss of Napoli on a 3-year deal. For contact with the newsroom, please send a message to info@trafficradio961.ng. And that ends the news broadcast compiled by Adeswa Ejoyoka. I am Akan Usen. Thanks for listening and please stay safe. Good afternoon.